was just to spot the Jesper.
It's not like where's Wally or Waldo or what was he in the UK? Was he Waldo or Wally? I think he was Wally.
Where's Wally? Yeah.
Where's Wally? Yeah. And I think in the US it's where's Waldo.
Yes.
And I don't know why.
No.
Waldo TM.
I assume there's some sort of copyright thing. Maybe
there's already a Wally, or maybe Wally was a mass murdering psychopath. I don't know how these things go. I mean, you'll have to ask, people like the Margaret Thatcher Brigade and their Teenage Mutant Hero Turtles, because ninja is too violent a word.
Yes. And you can have swords, scythes, and bow staffs, but nunchucks.
No nunchucks.
Way too over the top.
Speaking of, very quickly before we even start this, there were the scenes in Eliminators where he's using nunchucks, they were edited out, the UK release.
Because of Margaret Thatcher.
Conan Lee didn't get to show off his sweet nunchuck moves.
Well, there was only like 2 scenes with nunchucks in.
Yeah, he didn't use them very often. Oh, and again, since then, we saw an advert, a trailer for Eliminators.
Yeah.
And there's so many scenes that were cut out. You had Conan Lee fighting on the raft with the jet feet.
Yeah, it would have been such a great scene.
Where was that?
Why did they cut that? Why did they leave so many of the river scenes?
Fruity cavemen?
Nico? Nico wouldn't have cut that scene. He'd have showed that scene in full, and you would have...
Yeah, but it would have also had helicopters in constantly.
Yeah, well, naturally.
Right? He would have had helicopter feet, not a jet feet.
Well, no, you had a helicopter head. Or that would have come out of his
gadget, helicopter,
yeah,
man,
that would have come.
head.
Yeah, that would have come out of his backpack.
Anyway, hey, I'm Brass.
And I'm Sisco. And welcome to Bad Movie Mountain. That's the next episode.
Bad Movie Mountain, the next generation. That one's for you, Anthony, because I give him lines again. Anyway, in the last episode, the delightful Eliminators, Sisco cheated.
I'm feeling like that there's some good stuff on this one.
Well, yes, but that would be cheating, wouldn't it? Because I wasn't really on the mountain.
But it could have been. A little bit.
Yeah, a little bit. He took a movie off the Overflow, which hasn't been officially acknowledged in the show up till now. It's basically just films that will end up on the mountain eventually when we start taking some of the boxes off the mountain, which, for those keeping score, so far, in the entirety of the show, we have removed 2 boxes from the mountain and added 3. Which prompted this episode. This episode, we decided to try and integrate a little more fairness back into the thing, which is to say that neither of us will be picking a movie. It's going to be 100% random. So, yeah, neither of us will have any influence over what is picked. The main concern being that we keep seeing things that are going to be amazing, or we think are going to be amazing, and we're like, definitely watching that next. Definitely watching that next. Definitely watching that next. Meaning that all the shit is going to be left to the end. So the show will be a downward slide into the worst. Just the misery. And this might at least bring some sort of, like I said, fairness or randomness into it.
Yeah, and it stops us just developing a list.
Yeah.
Because I already have in my head a list of movies that I want to see. And this will prevent me from doing that. So basically, you're just getting in my way.
Most of this show was me putting in new rules to stop you ruining it somehow. Like, you're not allowed to pick from the same box set twice in a row. And you're like, because you're just like, I'm definitely having that one next. I'm definitely watching that one next. I was like, well, yeah, but where's the anticipation? Where's the spontaneity of just going, oh, let's watch whatever the hell this is? So yes, random. Now, the easiest, because we're super lazy, way of doing that is just a random number generator. So, I set Sisco with the exclusive, very VIP task of counting just how many boxes we have on the mountain.
43, 44, 45.
Turns out there's 116.
Assuming my math was correct.
Assuming your counting was
Yes,
correct.
assuming I can count. Hey, I don't know. I might not be able to count to a higher than 100. 46, 47, 48.
Have you ever tried?
Apparently I did, yes.
Well, yeah, but like you said, you don't know if it's
But there's been no quality checking of my counting, is what I'm saying. 50, 51, 2, 3.
Anyway, getting completely off track. The point is, random number, so we won't have any control over what is picked. However, we suddenly realized that if it's completely random, left up to fate, then when it inevitably lands on the worst, most boring crap movie on the mountain, we wouldn't have anybody to blame.
Yeah, we need that outlet of somebody to scream at.
Yeah, we need somebody to blame. So I took to the Bad Movie Mountain Twitter and I asked for a random number between 1 and 116. I took the first response we got and set Sisco back off with the grand... You are the grand counter, by the way.
Oh, that's a great name.
We set Sisco off with the task of counting. But to make sure it's all fair, because that's what this was all supposed to be about, and random, and on the off chance that somebody's seen the various pictures of the mountain or video that we've taken of the mountain, we're going to use the number that we got originally from the random number generator as a place to start from, and then the number that we get from Twitter, we will count down from there. And by we, I mean he.
5, 6, 7, 88. Oh.
What?
It's a multiple movie box set. 2 movies.
Okay, hang on. Dog Day and McBain.
Yep.
All right, well, hang on. He says number 2, so McBain. Hey.
Yay. Okay, shall I get this off the mountain?
Yes, you should.
Okay.
It's fine. It's all fine.
It's fine.
It's fine.
That's reasonably
Yours
fine.
was way easier than what... Fucking Star Crash was down here in the middle, and I had this guy, and he fell, and his wife was depressed and stuff, and things
fine.
happen.
That's fine. McBain.
Oh.
Let's get silly.
You're always silly.
No, that was a McBain movie on The Simpsons. 80 million.
No.
I was a critic.
Have it, Jasper. Well, let's go. McBain! Jasper, you coming? Jasper? Want to go watch the movie? I think Jasper's just going to stay here.
You
All right,
I
well.
already know it's shit.
We'll see you later. Let's go.
Let's go.
Oh, bollocks. It's clearly lower than it was last time. Nips.
Ow. My nipples.
You boys have your bags packed by 0900. The war is over. We're going home.
Did we win?
Shitheads.
Yo, did he say the war's over? Shit, let's boogie. He left. Holy shit.
I guess he doesn't read the paper.
That's the reaction you get to being an anti-aircraft missile fired at you. I guess he doesn't read the paper. Doesn't he know the war is over? We're all friends now.
What the hell is a bamboo dong?
Oh man! What?
It's good to see that we don't get to see what he's shooting at.
You don't.
You know, that's we just need to know that he's shooting. Everybody's shooting. What?
Well, that's what the clinking noise was. He put a explosive on the person he'd already killed.
Yes, you saw him put something down on him. There's no way he's hitting anything
No.
with the angle of that gun. You said duck as you pulled the trigger.
Steady.
What?
If the other half of this bill ever finds you, you can pay me back.
What?
The name is Roberto Santos.
That's not how that works. It makes you kind of a dick. You save him, then give him a bill and go, right, you now owe me for life. I have a marker on you.
18 years later in Colombia. And it looks suspiciously like the same country of
About to
filming.
say, which Colombia is this? This is Colombia in 91.
Supposedly.
91.
What are you saying this film is racist?
1991, not 1891.
Cristina.
Lover?
Yes,
I
yes.
told you I'd be back.
They're looking for you everywhere.
That's why I must do it now.
It's such a dangerous plan, Roberto. What will we do if you don't come back?
If you ever need help,
Take this
I mean really need it.
$500
I'm
bill.
not here.
It's wasting no fucking time, is
I want
it?
you to look up an iron worker by the name of Bobby McBain in New York.
And you'll be able to find this McBain because there's only one of them in New
This is
York.
his address.
Know this for a
Phone number
fact.
of his union. You know I will.
This is unforgivable. Welcome to 1991 Colombia. This is a major city. A gift for the president. Oh, the fuck? Was that an electronic silencer?
It's a clown car. There's just how many of them have come out. I want to see like 16
keep coming,
people
some more.
come out of
Come on,
that boot.
couple more,
Come
couple
on.
more. Don't worry, nobody saw that.
Que Dios te bendiga.
Still managing to be racist.
All the racism.
My fellow Colombians, once again our farm figures have far exceeded our expectations.
Here's some random dead chickens sitting on a sideboard. A knife and like an M16. And there's somebody in the attic?
That soon,
Wait, what? There's a trapdoor directly beneath the president?
I know how much we all enjoy to watch the
What?
What the hell?
He didn't think anything weird was happening there?
What?
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 What the fuck was she just randomly doing that? Just why? What?
Liberation Army has seized control of Colombia.
Well, one
We
building.
call on the government of the United States of America to recognize us and provide us with immediate support.
I don't know. Who are you and where are you going?
How many bald men can you put in a speedboat? Is that Neil Breen?
No. What? What? What was that all about?
Who was that?
Have a rock.
Oh, I suppose it is supposed to be set in...
Jesus. That was not a smart thing to do, huh?
Santos. We're in position, but nothing yet from the Americans.
What about El Presidente's army?
Nothing.
Nice.
The leader of the attempted coup has been identified as Roberto Santos, who has been wanted by Colombian authorities for months in connection
I
with
knew a
rebel
Roberto
groups
Santos
operating
once.
subversive
I wonder if it's the
activities
same
against
man.
Colombia's government. The footage we are about to show you is extremely graphic, and viewer discretion is advised.
Jesus, they would not show that on the fucking news. Discretion advised or not, nobody would play that on the fucking news. Come on.
In the middle of the day as well. This is like 4 p.m. or something. This is... Excuse me, do you know McBain?
Did she literally just say that as well? Because I know you were making a joke, but that's what I heard. Excuse me, I'm looking for McBain. Excuse me, I'm looking for the hero of the film.
Oh, I love the fact that the workman just let random woman walk up, you know, clearly what is not meant to be for normal pedestrians.
And she's already found him.
Jesus Christ. Any second now she's taking out the dollar, the bill, and they're going to put it together. Right there.
When I was about 17, I went to this famous concert.
Oh, I guess we're done talking about Colombia.
Getting there, the traffic was so bad, they closed the New York State Thruway. I had to walk the last 25 miles. When I got there, I had no food, shelter, just music.
Okay.
Is he comparing walking to a concert
Smoked dope.
to...
Was happy. When I got back to the city, I read about it in the newspaper. One reporter said he found a dark side to it. 500,000 people sitting in the mud, stoned, 3 days, not minding.
What?
What?
What the fuck are you talking
I thought,
about?
what a fool, he just doesn't get it. Looking back...
The look on her face like, what is he saying? I came to this guy for help? He's going to liberate Colombia? What's happening?
I wasn't expecting the anti-drugs angle to come in such a weird way. I wasn't expecting the anti-drugs
Wait,
angle
she
at
has
all.
to pay for the meal? What?
It's not enough. Is there a quarter in there?
Despite
What?
huge
What?
losses
What? What?
and inability
What?
to repay debt, and a stock that has lost 47%
I-
of its value in 1 year.
That's a hell of a tank top he's wearing, Sisco. It's just a lot of skeletons fucking.
Let's go sit out on the deck.
I am so baffled by what's going on right now.
I mean, I know I'm supposed to be watching the quote amazing
Oh,
action.
that's murder. Also murder.
Wait, they've just.
So they're killing drug dealers to get money to pay for
And who is
a
she?
revolution.
Is she supposed to be like
She's
a
a
smack addict or something, or a
Smack
prostitute?
addict slash prostitute. Probably both.
And they're literally just murdering people to steal drugs or money.
They're wanting $10 million worth of drug money, which this clearly looks like a
Yeah, but
building.
wasn't
where
that
you
what the guy was going to give them?
No,
isn't that why they went to see them?
No, I think he went to see him to buy weapons, but he basically said no unless we've got $10 million. That's my price. That's a discount price because I know and like you. Now they're killing drug dealers to get the money.
What the fuck you want? Money. Shit, man, take the money. You guys sure kill a lot of people for a little money.
People?
Who gives a fuck about people like that? Or people like you, for that matter?
I thought he was! Now you get me
What?
the hell down!
What the fuck?
You creep bastard!
Are we missing all the in-between scenes?
There's been no explanation of anything.
Is that guy stuck up there then? Now? Because it's difficult for him to give you the money if he's just hanging off a building. I mean, sure, I assume if... What is happening now? Did you just kill some people in an airport?
Are these just airport employees
Where are
they're
the
murdering?
police? Where the fuck are the police?
What is going on?
Why? Are we back in Colombia now?
The plane down. Do you read me? Do you read me? Charlie 704. Put the plane down.
No. No.
We reach you loud and clear.
No. What? No film? What? No.
Oh shit.
No film. The film lost me. What? No. That's interesting music, but okay. Also, the problem with that music is it was the exact same music that played over the Tin Man walk in Big Train.
Oh, yeah.
Mr. Rich, Mr. President, President Bojorquez has accused the United States of invading Colombia. Is this correct? No. Mr.
No.
He has proof. Which
I, for one, will consider that an act of war and will order an immediate, appropriate response.
Come here.
Sorry, I thought that was the response. What? Yes, throw it! Throw it! Typical village in Colombia, Sisco.
anyone else think El Presidente is a piece of shit? Cerveza.
Oh, I honestly thought they were going to say, we do, and then, you know, defend the people, or anything. I'm going to do it sneakily. You better hope that they drive off immediately, and that doesn't go off next to the cantina and kill all of the innocent civilians. Oh no, just kill all the innocent civilians. Haha, fuck you, Colombians. What the fuck, guys? Oh, fuck's sake. Okay, bye. Well, that was very stupid. He gave his life so they can open the gate. And they did it with a truck that they drove into the gate with a bomb on it, right?
Yeah.
Put the bomb on the gate.
The guy just used a rocket launcher. They have rocket launchers.
It's all so very, very stupid. Like, look at all these extras and shit they've got. The money they must have spent on it, but they just didn't give a shit. That's what McBain's doing in this scene. He did that. Like, every scene he's in, he does nothing.
I'm about to say, he hasn't
Christopher Walken has done nothing.
I said open fire!
What? What kind of scene was that? What? Was that the guy he shot, or was that another random person teleported in? This is going to be the end of the film, isn't it? This climax-less heap of crap. Oh, and I bet they're going to say McBain did it. He did nothing. This entire film.
Or was he going to commit suicide? Yeah, hold these flowers. What?
What? Here's the problem. That entire thing was set up poorly to the point that we thought the president was about to shoot himself. So there was no tension there.
I told you I could do it. Yeah, you did.
He did nothing. The entire movie. I don't remember him actually being involved in the revolution at all. James.
None of them were. Least of all McBain. He did nothing this entire film. And Christopher Walken just looked bored.
Fuck me.
James
Screw you,
Glickenhaus.
James. You can't write.
Glickenhaus.
James Glickenhaus, you fucking suck, dude. Seriously, screw you.
So, this whole random choice thing is a horrible, horrible failure. Nothing fucking happened in that movie.
It was so fucking disappointing.
And Christopher Walken did nothing.
He did nothing in the most boring way. This is the most boring revolution I've ever seen. Boring and offensive.
Massively racist film.
I'm pretty sure it's shouting Zarthon. Yeah.
Zarthon! Yeah, well. So, you know what? I'll let you do it this time.
Oh, good. I really wanted to touch McBain.
No, but fine, whatever. Sorry, Danny. Not even sended. No one near sended.
You handed it to me. You didn't want it sended. You wanted to share the pain of McBain.
I think out of everybody, Danny's probably going to get the most pain. Right, so the Bad Movie Mountain 100% random, but with someone to blame edition show was a fucking disaster.
Yeah, I mean, you did say you wanted to avoid leaving all the crap to the end.
It's true.
And we can safely say we have now watched some of the crap.
When I got back to the city, I read about it in the newspaper. One reporter said he found a dark side to it.
Because the film is super boring. We need to condense this down massively to a point.
That is what the producers and the editors have done. They've cut out all the film. And
I love the fact you think they filmed more than we saw. Like, they cut out all the scenes that made it make sense. Sisco, they never filmed the scenes that made it make sense.
Yes, but...
Right, so, super quickly, there's a guy called McBain. We don't know who he is. We don't know where he comes from. We don't know what he does. He's seen for 5 seconds at the beginning, saved by Santos. Santos, then he owes Santos his life, apparently. Santos tries to free Colombia, apparently, gets killed. His girlfriend/sister goes and finds McBain. McBain does nothing for an entire film. They go back to Colombia, where they do nothing, and then the film ends.
That's... Okay, yeah, that is the film in a nutshell.
James
Screw you,
Glickenhaus.
James. You can't write.
The watching experience of this film I likened to an early Christopher Nolan film called Memento.
Yes.
Guy Pearce, Carrie-Anne Moss. It's a good film, but it's also experimental, where this film isn't. Now, the way Memento works, each scene starts and you have no idea what's going on or what's happening. By the end of the scene or the scene that follows it, you then understand what was happening in the scene. But that's a film about a guy who had a severe head injury and has short-term memory loss.
He doesn't retain his short-term memories.
Since my injury, I can't make new memories. Everything fades. If we talk for too long, I'll forget how we started. Next time I see you, I'm not going to remember this conversation.
And the film shows you his point of view by starting scenes cold with no explanation of what's happening, working sort of backwards.
Yeah.
So you never know where the stories come from, and you're working it out as you go. That's the viewing experience of this film. As in, a scene will just start, and we have no idea where they are, what they're doing, or why. By the end of the scene, the film tells you why they were there. Where this and Memento change or differ is that what it tells you was not what you just watched. The things that the film's trying to portray to you, it's almost like it's lost in translation because you're watching something and you're like, what's going on? Then it'll tell you, maybe in the next scene or a couple of scenes later, what was happening. And you're like, hang on, that's not what was happening. A perfect example of that is really early on in the film where Santos saves McBain.
Yeah.
Now, what it's showing you is these two people are apparently now linked for life. And that's what it tells you. But what you actually see is a soldier being a dick.
Yeah.
He rescues someone and then immediately says, you owe me. Anything I want, anytime, you're mine.
If the other half of this bill ever finds you, you can pay me back.
It needs to be set up that he saves his life, and McBain then has to say, I owe you, tear the thing up, and give it to you. Any point you need help, I will come help you because I owe you.
Yeah.
That's the way that's set up. But that's the way it should be set up. The way it is set up is, you owe me for life. You're my bitch now.
Pretty much. So then, from there, we jump to Santos in the future. And about 20 years in the future. And again, what it's showing you is not what you're supposed to see, or rather not what you're supposed to take from it. The lost in translation thing. Santos enters a room with a sleeping woman. She wakes up to see them, and very passionately they embrace. So what you're watching here is a husband and wife, or a boyfriend and girlfriend. They're touching each other on the mouth, they're all over each other. Later in the movie, that scene is explained. And it turns out that's his sister. And you're like, so when you're there, you're like, whoa, that's not his sister, that's his wife. So you're immediately retroactively having to go back in the film going, hang on, wait a second. And that's the viewing experience. Something will happen and you'll go, that doesn't make any sense. But you don't get to that point until the end of the scene. Because the scene starts, you have no idea what's going on. The scene ends, you're told what happened, and you say, that's not what happened.
Your brother-in-law. He's screwing you.
Yeah, well, I thought he was. I thought he was!
What?
What the fuck?
Come back and
Are we missing all the in-between scenes?
There's been no explanation of anything. I don't know if he's genuinely thinking or if he's just making shit up.
Yes. It sounds like they are just making shit up. That's what he said. How does he know about his brother-in-law? And he says, everybody's been screwed by their brother-in-law.
And I think there's another important thing here. Again, in storytelling, you have transitions and things between scenes and exposition, etc. This movie has none of that. This movie smash cuts, and there are several really bad ones in the middle when they go into a drug den, they kill all the drug dealers. What the fuck just happened?
I love steak, but you know, ever since Big Paulie, everybody's afraid.
Genuinely don't know
What
what
is happening
the
now?
fuck is going on.
This film is all over the bloody place. What the fuck?
Then, a hard cut to the next scene of, and it is literally just straight a man walking out of a restaurant, and a garbage truck hits a load of cars, and he is kidnapped. And then the next smash cut, he is then hung up from a building. They extort $10 million worth of money on him.
Somehow.
Smash cut, they're on a beach. Why are they on a beach? Smash cut, they're in an American airport. They start blowing up the American airport and killing all the employees to steal planes.
I assume a bit.
What
is happening now? Did you just kill some people in an airport?
These are just airport employees.
Where are
They're
the
murdering.
police? Where the fuck are the police?
And
hang on.
these are our heroes.
We don't know, but the thing is, you're saying to do this. They're doing this to do this. We don't know that they're doing it to do anything. They're just doing something.
That is the assumption because they then get in a plane and fly to Colombia. But you're right. That is an assumption I had to make because the movie didn't tell me anything. It's just smash cut from one thing to the other. Why that? What?
Gil, I'm sorry. Corrections Officer Ortega died on the operating table.
What is in there?
Dr. Janice Jones to OR emergency.
What's on the dry ice?
Crack deal gone bad. 6 bullet wounds, 2 to the head.
This film makes us angry for 2 very important points that it fucks up. The writing and the direction.
Yeah.
And it's written and directed by the same person.
Yes.
Mr. Glickenhaus.
Fuck you, Mr. Glickenhaus.
So, the scene doesn't make sense as it's written. Then he directs it, and it doesn't make sense because whatever he's directing is apparently the wrong message. Another example of us being shown something, thinking we know what's happening, and then later being told we're wrong is right near the end, where it cuts to the president of Colombia, who was sitting in a room clearly about to commit suicide with his pistol.
Yeah.
So you're waiting for that to happen. And then it's Christopher Walken's McBain falls through the ceiling to shoot him.
No. Before that, he opens up an air vent. And there is an air vent in front. The camera focuses in on an area where there's an air vent. So you're expecting him to pop out of this air vent. But he doesn't. He comes through the ceiling next to the air vent.
So
why
show us the air vent?
Why show him going into the air vent?
Oh, not even going in. He just opens it.
Why do anything?
Why film it like he's going to commit suicide if you're expecting to have a big showdown between the two, which we weren't expecting a showdown. But frustrations obviously being vented. Back to what I was saying. Back to the beginning of the movie.
Oh, please.
We're in Vietnam, right? The first laugh I got, again, Michael Ironside, he's great. They're in their helicopter and they're talking about their bamboo dong, like Sisco misheard. And I think it's Santos, I can't even tell. Santos turns to him and they're talking about whether or not they should go and investigate this bamboo dong because it might have prisoners of war in. And he says to Michael Ironside, we should go and do it. You don't want to spend the rest of your life wondering whether it was or wasn't. And there's a sizable gap where nobody says anything, and then Michael Ironside just goes, "Aw, man!"
Do you want to go through the rest of your life wondering if it was? Oh, man!
What the fuck kind of delivery is that?
It really seemed like an outtake, like he had a line and he forgot, and then he's just going, "Oh shit!
Oh man!
I screwed that scene up, didn't I?" But it's in the movie. It's in the movie.
Writing and direction. Either that line was written for him and is stupid, or the director just went, "Yes, that is the delivery I want from you in this scene." So, that was the first time I laughed. I didn't laugh much after that because it's such a frustrating and annoying film.
We laughed at the clown car. That was the
You
thing.
laughed at the clown car.
I think that was like I laughed at that, and then I laughed at the jet, but that was more a laugh of pain and frustration than of genuine humor. The last genuine laugh I think was the clown car, which we. I mean, after he's rescued, you flash forward to 18 years, and they're in.
Stop immediately again. Stop. They're fucking not in Colombia, but whatever.
Yeah,
it jumps from McBain being saved to what looks a lot like what they were telling us was the Vietnam wilderness.
Yes.
And it says, 18 years later, Medellin, Colombia.
Now...
And I laugh because it's like 4 mud huts in a grass field with no electricity, no roads, no plumbing, just like a stream. And I made the joke, right? That, oh look, this is before we even saw where it said it was. We just laughed and said, oh look, this is a major city in Colombia in 1991.
And I looked it up. It is the second biggest city in Colombia. It has a population currently of around 2.5 million. But apparently, like 30 years ago...
Well, I was going to say, in the 80s, it was apparently infamous for being a hugely crime-ridden city. But it was still a built-up city. It's not grass huts in a fucking field.
Yeah.
This film is so fucking racist. It's insane.
Yes, I mean, that's only the start as well. That's literally only the start of the racism.
It's the start of the fucking movie! Not just the start of the racism, it's right at the fucking start. Everything from there just goes downhill.
Yes. I mean...
Right.
No, not...
The introduction of the actual McBain character, because he's not introduced at the beginning. When he's introduced and everything is fucking wrong because the girlfriend / sister of Santos goes to find him and everything is wrong. Well, she walks from Colombia after taking the necklaces of little girls because they don't have any money in Colombia. There's no fucking currency. She takes all that, gets on a donkey, walks to New York City. The first people she says, hey, I need to find McBain. They go, oh, he's up there. She walked up. He's welding a bridge. She just walks onto this fucking building site area where he's fixing the bridge, and she walks straight up to him and she's like, McBain? He goes, I've been expecting you.
No. She pulls out the $500 bill first.
Cut to them in a cafe where she's like bleeding heart story about how apparently everybody, especially the children, are addicted to cocaine in Colombia.
All taking coke all
Nobody's
the time.
Eating and everybody's slowly starving to death. You racist piece of shit film. He, upon hearing this, in one of the first most baffling things where we're sitting there going, what the fuck is he doing? Starts telling her, like, as a counterpoint to Colombia being stuck on drugs, right? A counterpoint to how he went to a music festival once and the roads were packed, so he had to walk the last 3 miles on foot. And when he got there, he didn't have any food, he didn't have any shelter, but he did smoke some dope and he had a great fucking time. And everybody was sitting around for 3 days having a great time. Anyway, he came back to New York City and read a newspaper. And can you believe it? A journalist actually found a dark side to this concert. It was just 500,000. That's a whole fucking load of people.
That's a lot of people.
Sitting around in the mud, not caring because they were stoned. And she's sitting there looking at him with her eyes darting around like, the fuck is he saying? What the fuck is he talking about? And we're sitting at home watching this movie with our eyes darting around going, the fuck is he saying? What the fuck is he talking about? And then you even said when we were watching it, hang on, is he comparing his experience of walking to a concert once to her entire country falling apart? She's here presumably to ask for help. She never gets to ask for help because after his story, he turns to the waitress, and this is another perfect example of how the direction does not tell the story he seems to think he's telling, and he asks for the check. He then turns straight to her and asks if she's got any money. Now, retroactively thinking back on it, what I think it's supposed to...
Do you have any money to fund your revolution?
To start a revolution. That's what we think it's supposed to be. But because the scene is set up, it's set up so he literally asks for the check, then turns to her to ask for money, it literally seems like he's asking her to pay for his breakfast. She dumps out all the currency she has, little girl's necklaces and bits of jewellery that she took from the mud hut people of Colombia, and he picks up a coin and basically says to her, this is all worthless shit, right? Your currency is shit. Then he goes, this is not enough. Again, for breakfast, we think.
It's not enough. Is there a quarter in there?
Fuck you, Meeks. Gus was like, right, I haven't even seen the film and I've had enough.
I would like to at least go back briefly to the beginning because we haven't explained.
But why? Why would you want to go back to the beginning?
We haven't explained.
We haven't explained. The film didn't explain.
We need to at least because it's one of the better-ish scenes
at the beginning.
Where Santos has taken, because after he has that very awkward scene with his sister, he then goes to try and take over the country
with his girlfriend's sister.
Yeah, by holding the president hostage, and they have a plan. And compared to McBain, it's actually a plan that you can at least see as a plan. They drive in. The guy gets out. He goes, "Hey, these are for the president," and he goes, "Oh, he likes Poe. He likes him some Poe." And then they shoot the security guard, and they open up the trunk, and like 5 men get out of the trunk of the car. It was great. Then they invade the president's palace, and the staff are like, "We hate the president. Go ahead."
Just dead chickens and raw meat hanging everywhere.
Yeah. Again, racism. One of the prostitutes starts climbing a ladder,
which we didn't know why.
We didn't know why, and the president at this point in time is giving like a news interview, and he's got the cameras on him, and he's sitting at a desk, and she opens up this hatch, and directly above her is the president.
You can see the fucking president up there.
But then the president is giving an interview, and as he's giving the interview, there is a scene of her hands going up his crotch with a knife in one hand, and you hear an unzipping sound.
And we're like, whoa, what's
and then smash cut to Santos's men bursting in and taking everybody hostage. And it's never explained what she was doing. Why my thought was she was going to pull his fly down, stick a knife on his dick, and basically say, "Get your men to put their guns down, or I'll cut your dick off."
Something that would
have made sense.
Some logic to that.
But that's not what happens. That would have been a great scene, by the way, if that had happened. But it didn't. And
everywhere, have some cat hair. You have some cat hair.
Thank you.
Everyone at home, have some cat hair, so I don't have to have it all.
Well, yeah,
Did I derail you with the cat hair?
You derailed me with cat hair. Yeah, it's very mean of you.
I've just noticed that no one's going to be able to see the shirt you got me because Jasper's lying on half of it.
That's fine. Basically, I suppose going back to the plot, they need 10 million. After Michael Ironside's thingy, then they smash cut to them fishing on the Hudson River for some reason.
Fishing on the Hudson River. Girlfriend sister's with him. He pulls crabs out of the Hudson River. She starts fumbling his nipples.
Yes.
And we don't know if it's supposed to be a romance scene or what.
It's so awkward. And there's no explanation as to what it is.
There's no build up to it, and there's no payoff to it.
Yes, and then it just smash cut. And I think that's the next thing they're doing is...
Well, hang on. It goes from there to McBain getting out of his car, and immediately we're saying, oh, well, where is she? Because She
gone.
doesn't have any place to stay in New York. She's used all of her village's money to get there. So where is she? He walks into his house, and somehow all of Santos's old men are in the house. But it's post them meeting scene. The scene that you're seeing where they would get together and it'd be like, haven't seen you in years. What are you doing?
They're all hungover, implying that there's been some sort of like scene where they've all had a big drinking session. Remember this when I did this, and remember this, and then the war, and some sort of establishment of camaraderie between the lot of them. But what we get is them waking up hungover instead of the scene of them bonding again as a team.
We get a scene of them waking up hungover, and we have no idea what's happening.
And
because you said at the time, hang on, do they all live together? Have they all lived together this entire time? Because Steve James is coming down the stairs, and another guy is slipping on pizza boxes, and very distractingly, and I can't say this enough, very distractingly, one of them has a tank top on covered with skeletons fucking in various positions. And throughout the rest of the scene, I'm like, why is he wearing a literal skeletal fucks t-shirt?
Yeah, why? And where do we buy one?
Then they sit outside and all agree to do the thing that presumably they've already agreed to do, otherwise they wouldn't be there together.
Yes, and it's worth noting...
And by agree to do, we don't know what that is.
It's worth noting that we have to assume, because the movie doesn't tell us, but we have to assume that at this point in time, the sister/girlfriend is going back to Colombia, because the next time we see her, she's in Colombia.
Which is another smash cut scene later. She's just in Colombia, and there's people everywhere with all the guns, which we assumed the 10 million was to pay for, but then later on it's not, because they're taking whatever the 10 million paid for to Colombia, so they couldn't possibly have had the guns.
And they all had the guns already, yes. Yeah, but the other thing is...
So, as another great example of the movie showing you something, but what it's showing you is not what you're getting from it. They're in Colombia now. The character who wasn't a character before, fighter pilot man, is now with them for whatever reason. And they're sitting at this cafe, which, by the way, is super fucking racist again. This is the second biggest city in Colombia, and it's mud roads, chickens and pigs running around all over the place. And an older gentleman is being questioned about the president. And he says he thinks the president is a piece of shit. And the guard starts beating him for it.
Yeah.
As dictator guards would. Our heroes are sat at the table just next to him. And the guard stands up and he shouts, "Does anyone else think the president is a piece of shit?" So immediately you're assuming McBain, hard ass that he is going to say something along the lines of, "Yeah, I think he's a piece of shit." And they kick the shit out of those guards and everybody cheers. Yay, they're great.
Revolution.
And I'm pretty sure that's what the film wants you to think, at least that sort of thing. What actually happens is they say nothing. They all quietly get up and wander away, leaving the people at the cafe. On the way past, Michael Ironside puts an explosive on a car, which presumably is the guard's car.
It's a Jeep.
So it's a military Jeep. It's their car. While we're watching, we literally said, we hope those guards drive off pretty fast, because that's parked right next to the tables with the old man and all the other civilians on. You see them driving away, the military vehicle's still there. In the distance, whilst we're still saying, if they don't move that car, it's going to kill a lot of civilians, it explodes.
Killing a lot of innocent civilians.
Now, logically, yeah, all those civilians are now dead.
Basically...
All to kill 2 guards. But the film is showing it in a way that's like, yay, our heroes bested them. The people at the cafe don't have to worry about them anymore. And you're like, they just killed a bunch of civilians.
It was an act of terrorism.
Yeah.
And it's possibly one of the only things they did in Colombia.
Yeah.
Because the rest of it, they take over the TV station, and they have the fire truck knock the doors, the gates.
This character who is not a character who is now a character. He flew the fighter jet for them. He wasn't part of any of the plans because he wasn't there. Presumably, from what the film showed us, McBain was about to kill himself.
Yeah.
Yeah? Because it's McBain and that other guy are in a fire truck. And for no reason, and I literally mean no reason, they have put an explosive on a fire truck. Okay? And they're hurtling towards a gate. Now, the idea is that they can't get into El Presidente's palace because the gate's shut.
Yeah.
So, right. We're thinking they're going to ram the gate with the truck. It's going to open. All the rebels are going to pour in. They're going to overthrow Colombia from this one building. Great. That's what's going to happen. Unfortunately, the film shows us a whole bunch of other things, including character who's not a character who's a character now. I don't know his name. And McBain.
Davy. Pilot Davy. It's listed in the
you remember Davy?
Yeah.
He's character who wasn't a character who was a character now, as far as I'm concerned, are sitting in this fire truck. And they're going to ram the gates. Davy, character who's not a character, says, I need to stay in the truck. And McBain says, if you stay in the truck, you're going to die. Because one of us needs to stay in the truck, otherwise it will never reach the thing. McBain says, all right, bye, and jumps out. Obviously, it's not Christopher Walken, because the guy has either, I'm not sure which, because it's obviously quite blurry, he either has jet black short hair, or this weird jet black helmet on with a chin strap, right? And he hops out. The bomb explodes on the fire truck. It's nowhere near the gate. So the truck is exploded. A few moments later, it hits the gate and the gate swings open. And I know you're supposed to be going, yay, they've managed to do it. But logically and realistically, you're going, why did they blow themselves up?
There's nothing was added by the explosion.
If anything, it probably could have ruined the plan.
Well,
it could have knocked it off the road.
Well, the other thing is Pilot Davy could have survived if he'd just driven through the gates.
Again.
He didn't have to die at that point in time.
The film is showing you that somebody is heroically sacrificing themselves, but it's doing it in a way that you're sitting there as the viewer going, why did you blow yourself up?
We're almost to the end now because there's very little else that happens.
Very little else happens.
There's about 2 scenes of McBain shooting about 2 bullets and 1 scene of him throwing a grenade, and then the film is effectively over.
I forgot about how little he did.
Not just him. None of his people are there. They fly in after it's all done. Everybody that's fighting is the rebels, who are non-characters because they've not been introduced.
And they've all got placards.
They're the ones. They do all the fighting.
I want to hit you literally with my protester sign. Yeah.
McBain is seen twice shooting and once throwing a grenade, and then the next scene he kills the president. End of movie.
And you're just screaming at the writer-director with Glickenhaus. You're like, fuck you, Glickenhaus!
Well, let's put it this way. The Americans, the McBain character, he brought nothing. He did nothing in Colombia. He murdered a lot of Americans in America, but he didn't actually do anything of any value for the revolution. So they didn't need him. They took no active part. Our heroes took no active part in the resolution of the story. So why the fuck were we watching them? Why the fuck did we spend 1.5 hours watching those cunts going through everything that they did? All the murder they did in America, all the murder they did in Colombia, and then nothing. They don't even take part in the revolution. They do nothing. They are wasted. This entire movie is a wasted movie. All the budget from this could have gone into something halfway decent. There are so many huge scenes with so much explosions, jets, helicopters. Nico could have done so much with the budget for this that would have been worth fucking watching. This just... I was so angry.
This random someone else picks thing is a great idea. Not until we start removing some of the ones from the mountain, which is why this was such a big cheat.
And the
big cheat. Oh, hey, 10. Tell you what, come here. Come here. You can totally fit. Come on, there's loads of room. Come on. There, you can take over from me. Right, Sisco, you and 10 finish this episode. The camera's right here, 10.
Right.
Right here.
So, brief summation from my side. The major problems with this movie is from a bad movie perspective. It's not bad enough to be funny. Most of the action is boring, not schlocky. The acting is terrible, but bland terrible, not funny terrible, not over the top terrible. The action scenes, like I said, they're disjointed and just confusing.
No. No. The thing is, Dog Day is still a movie we can watch, right? So
I had a brief look. It's a trauma film.
I'm gonna cover his bathing suit area with Dog Days and McBain. Then McBain, has some function and purpose.
Well, I think we're done. Quite clearly, this movie does not belong on the shelf of Thing or the shelf of sort of okay.
No.
This is shit.
Yeah, we need to make a shelf of shit.
I don't think we do, because I refuse to draw something for McBain, and we can't put it on the shelf yet because Dog Day is still to go. So it goes back on the mountain. At some point in time, we will have to clear off a shelf for the shelf of shit, but McBain ain't worth it. It ain't worth the shelf of shit.
It isn't worth your time. Do not go looking for this film. We do not recommend this film.
The best bits from this film we've already shown. There is nothing else worth watching on this film. It is utter travesty. I honestly don't get... People who think this is a good, bad movie, the only thing I can think of is they haven't seen many good, bad movies. They ain't seen The Story of Ricky. They ain't seen Samurai Cop. They've not seen The Room. They've not seen anything by Neil McBain.
Neil McBain, right? I'm ending it there. It's done. Neil McBain.